ahead of myself. And now we're recording. On the home stretch, a week away from opening ceremonies. Actually, this time on, what day are we? We're on Sunday. Man, time's flying by. So I guess come Sunday this time, opening ceremonies would be about wrapping up. So I'm excited. Hope you guys are too. I know there's still things that we're solidifying and getting worked out. And so both on you as coaches as well as us as assistant staff, getting everything ready for the delegations. But yeah, it's a good time. We're excited for everything. And hopefully this meeting we can touch base on a few extra things that will be happening here and get everybody feeling good about going into the week. And before I get started, do I have Samantha on the call? Sam, do you want to chime in if you're here? All right, hopefully she chimes in here. Tyler, are you on the call yet? Oh man, a bunch of slackers. All right, well, I know Tyler's running a little bit late. Sam's supposed to be on the call too, so. All right, well, I didn't do a whole elaborate PowerPoint for this one, just did the bullet points so that we can touch on the items, and then we can dive into any questions that you may have and provide clarity if able to. So first thing is, we've already gotten a few questions regarding transportation, which is awesome. Transportation, everybody should have already submitted your transportation request form. I know that there's actually a decent amount that we have not received from you coaches. So if that is the case, please definitely send it in to me. If I have not seen one from you, I am assuming, which I know is a horrible thing to do, but I'm assuming that you will be getting your team there and there is nothing for us to try to figure out, that parents are dropping them off, you're driving them, and you have everything arranged. If that's not the case, you need to send us that form and connect with us ASAP so that we can help you figure out the logistics on where to park your vehicle, if it's a rental, how to return it, all of that fun stuff. Just so you know, those of you who have submitted your request forms, we do need your confirmation numbers from you if you are renting a vehicle. So it looks like the majority are going through Enterprise. If you can please provide us with that confirmation number, that will allow Jazz, who is our logistics coordinator, to be able to reach out to Enterprise, give them that number, and it'll just make the whole process a lot more smooth. Regarding parking, for those of you both at KP and at UW, we are still waiting to hear back for the parking packages. And 1 second, Sam is having a hard time finding the link. So bear with me here. I want to get her on the call, so I'm going to send that to her. Just play in your head the Jeopardy music while I do this here. All right, hopefully that worked for her. Yes, so parking. We are still waiting to hear the parking packages. I am taking a running tally of those who are requesting parking during the games, and we will be following up with you as soon as we get word on parking, what that's going to look like, all that fun stuff. So I have gotten your requests. If you have not requested parking during the games, definitely let me know. Just so you know, parking, we do have to pay per parking spot, and so it's not guaranteed that those staying at UW, as far as within our delegation, that will have parking, but that's why you need to follow up with us so we can see if we can secure enough, and then if you'll need to pay that individually or if we'll be able to cover that under the delegation, and it all determines on the reasoning and all that stuff. Steve, thanks. Looks like I got your reservation confirmation number. That's fantastic. And then as far as those of you who are requiring parking at Kaiser Permanente, it doesn't look like many. I think my total count right now is only at 3, which is great. We're actually looking at possibly bringing those vehicles just over to UW. That way, come the 7th, just makes everything a lot easier on getting everybody back to the rigs and what have you. So parking packages and all of the logistics on parking still have yet to come. We're waiting for USA Games to get us that, so then we can just go ahead and secure those and then let you know how we're looking. But again, if you have not reached out to me, let me know right away, so that way we can get that figured out. Looks like we actually have some questions coming in concerning parking, so let me go through there here. So Randy, looks like you asked, is there parking available at UW during opening ceremonies and during the games? I could go towards delegation specific or for general public, so I'll answer both. As far as delegation, it's what I was just talking about. We will have to be purchasing actual parking spots, and we pay for those daily. In regards to general parking, there is very limited, and so USA Games has told us to inform our teams and family members that consider this the walking games. UW is a walking campus, so plan on parking at a distance and walking to the games, or park somewhere downtown or along the transit system route or light rail route and jump on the light rail. The light rail does end. The final stop is right there in front of the UW football stadium, so that is a great option. And that's where the opening ceremonies will be. So if you have any family members or whomever to come watching the opening ceremonies, encourage them to take probably the light rail system if possible. Let's see. Transportation from extended stay to KP will be a problem for us. Okay, Ken, I'll work with you offline on how to get your team from the hotel to KP. We'll need to get that figured out. Steve, regarding your rental on the 30th, that is things that we are getting figured out, and that's what Jazz will be reaching out to you for. And we have a confirmation number that will help speed things up. So that's great. Keep questions coming in, guys, if you have questions. This is good. So one thing I know people have been wondering about just the public transportation system. I know a decent amount of you live in that area, so you probably know, but I want to make sure everybody feels comfortable with the options for transportation. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video. It's about a 4-minute video, just kind of goes over the transportation options. This would be for you teams if you want to travel downtown, do some sightseeing during your downtime, or also to share with family members and whomever are coming. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this, and I really hope the audio works. If it doesn't, somebody go ahead and chime in on the comments box so I know. But here we go. I'm going to go ahead and play it. All right, well, apparently people are not hearing this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this on the coach's webpage so you can all view it. I apologize. I told you guys, let me know if you can't hear it. But nobody let me know until I asked for it. So I will go ahead and post this so everybody can go ahead and view it a little bit later. All right, so yeah, there's still questions coming in as far as parking. Honestly, guys, I don't know on parking. We are as much in a wondering as you regarding parking. The only thing that has been told to us is that due to the high volume of participation and spectators coming in, that parking is going to be very, very limited. And so if there is something available, there's not going to be much at all. People have to try to get there early, probably leave late due to traffic. And also, it's all going to be dependent on, like I said, they are sending out parking packages that are specific to delegations and volunteers. So as far as how many are reserved from that, that's also going to cut down on the amount of public parking. So unfortunately, I don't really have an answer for you on that, but I will get it to you as soon as I have the final details. We have a few people here that I'm hearing some background noise. If you can please make sure to mute yourself. June 30th. Tyler, are you on here?
I am. Hello.
Hello, Tyler. So we already went pretty in depth regarding June 30th. Do you feel there's anything new that has developed since our last meeting that we need to share with the team?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Nothing I can think of. Come prepared for Fit 5 screening. Also with your medication check and your petty cash form for your athletes. I don't think that that's the name of that form, but that's what's coming to mind. Then also just come prepared in the same way that you came for training camp for your time block. You do not have to show up at 9:30 if your time block is not 9:30. So it's not like training camp in that sense. Just look for your time block. If you are Unified Gaming or youth leadership experience, you will go with the athletics time block.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. And just so as a reminder, the schedule is posted on the coach's delegation webpage, so you can access it there. I think it's the first one under the schedules column, so pretty accessible, pretty right in front. And yeah, as far as housing for those teams who have requested it, if you have, Brenda, if you're on the call, I know I still owe you a confirmation. But all others, if you have requested housing for the 29th, you should have received a confirmation email from me saying that here's where you're staying and you're good to go. If you have not seen that, definitely shoot me a call or an email so we can make sure to get that taken care of and get you housed. In terms of, oh man, what did I do? There we go. So in terms of forms, like Tyler was saying, those forms are posted on the delegation coach's webpage. So there's the money management form, aka the petty cash form that Tyler called it. So make sure that parents are filling those out, that they are sending athletes with some funds to be able to purchase some cool souvenirs, maybe some extra snacks or food while you're out exploring or even at the games. There's going to be a lot of stuff, food trucks, all of that. So definitely remind your families, fill that out, but have them send that money management form with each of with their athlete. So that way we know what they came with, and then we know if we need to help manage those funds or not. The medical form, I know we already went over this, but I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. Well, I guess the medication form, even though you filmed it out at training camp, we need it to be done again for USA Games due to the chance of there being changes, as well as some of the wording changing on the form. So if you are going to be refilling that out, make sure you're using the USA Games form and not the training camp form. And then that will be due upon arrival on the 30th. We'll go ahead and copy it. Same thing that we did at training camp. We'll keep a copy, and then we'll be putting a copy in your binder for you. As far as USA Games got back to us and informed us that there were still a couple AFPs or release forms for coaches and partners that were not completed correctly. So if you have received an email from Nicole, please make sure to follow up with her ASAP, or at least let her know the status of where you're at with that. I don't want to go through all of this and then come the day of, we still don't have the information, and then it comes the heartbreaking time of having to inform an athlete or whomever that they are not allowed to participate due to some I's not being dotted or T's being crossed. So definitely, if you've received an email from Nicole, please follow up as soon as possible to make sure we get all that squared away and taken care of. A couple of things I want to make sure to clear up, because these could probably get confused, is we have 3 different forms for the release forms as far as if an athlete is going to go out for a day, if they are being taken home from the games and not returning, as well as for those athletes, coaches, partners who will not be staying on site with the delegation for the week. So just to kind of clarify, the request for absence form, which is now uploaded on the delegation coach's webpage under forms, the request for absence form is the one that will need to be filled out for those who are not staying during the week with the team. If it's already planned that the parents will be picking them up and dropping them off, and they will not be housed, that is the form that needs to be filled out. It's got every day broken down, and it has the recommended area for pickup and drop off, which is our dorm. That makes it easy on you coaches. But then there is also an alternate pickup drop off location that you could establish with each parent or whomever is bringing them, if that's going to be easier for you. You'll notice on there that the June 30th, the time is set for 9:30. Obviously, like Tyler said, if your team isn't set to arrive until a little bit later, then that's fine. Work with the coach, and then you fill in that alternate time on the right-hand side. But then pickup time, which, by the way, is on July 7th at McMahon Hall, is where parents can come pick them up. I'll get more into that once we get to that point. But then the remainder of the day's pickup and drop-off times, those are left blank because the schedules are fluctuating. There's not going to be one set time that's going to be ideal for everybody. So that is something where you can look at your schedule and say, okay, I want Billy Joe here at this time on this day because that's going to give us time to get to competition. But then on this day, our competition doesn't start till later, so they can arrive later. That will be up to you and the parent guardian who will be transporting the individual. You'll notice that there is information that we need. We need signatures as well as a phone number for who is transporting the athlete or partner. That way we can follow up with them. If the time that was scheduled has come and gone, we can call them up, see where they're at, just what have you. And then that needs to be submitted to myself prior to the games so that I can approve it, look it over, make sure everything's good to go. And that way we know all the logistics for everybody during the week. Another form that you'll see is the day of release form. So that is a form that's rather not the stuff that's already planned, but rather Billy Joe's parents would like to take him out to lunch, or family came in, what have you, if they're going to be pulled away just for a little bit and then coming back. That's what that day of release form would be used for. That would need to be filled out. You'll have blanks in your coach's binder and filled out and then submitted into you, as well as immediately submitted to Tyler. He will be handling those logistics during the games. Then the other form is the trip home release form. This is a form that will be the one to fill out on July 7th when athletes, partners go home and they're not coming back for the games. That is when this form needs to be filled out. So everybody who will be leaving, hopefully everybody's there until July 7th. But if an athlete ends up having a breakdown, meltdown, and just cannot finish the week, and we have to release them early, anybody going home, this trip home release form has to be filled out for everyone. Basically what this is it releases us from liability. The person taking them signs it off, fills it out, and says that they are assuming responsibility to ensure that athlete or partner get home safely. Even if it is a athlete who is over, who is an adult, and even I think some of them, just a handful, are driving themselves. That form still needs to be filled out and submitted, stating that they will get themselves home safely. Any questions on the release forms?
Hey there, Stephen. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Sorry to ask, those will be in a binder as well? Enough copies for everyone on the team?
Yes. Yeah, we're going to put
the release form. Okay.
There'll be extras. And then also, thank you for bringing that up. With any of these forms, we will have a copier printer that will be either in Tyler's or my room. So if there's copies needing to be made, you run out, what have you, we can easily get you copies. So, but yes, you will already have some in your binder.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And we actually had some questions come in on the chat box. So Randy, yes, even if no medication has changed, like I stated, there is wording that has changed on the form itself. Instead of training camp, it lists USA Games. I know it's very tedious and doesn't make sense why we'd have to do that, but with all the legalities and liabilities, we have to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row. Let's see here. Yeah, so Steve, it looks like you had the same question as just earlier. Will you have copies of these forms with you? Yes, you will. You will have copies of these forms. And if you don't have a copy of a form, you need something, again, let me know, and we can make copies at the games and get that taken care of. All right, moving on. If you continue to have questions, make sure to chime on in here, or you can shoot me an email as well. Everybody has been waiting for it. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but we have posted all schedules up on the Delegation Coaches webpage. It has all of the team sports and individual sports. So that's probably, all of you are probably not listening to me anymore, but going on there and finding them. But they are posted. We went ahead and on the team sports, we did highlight our teams, so that way hopefully it helps you find your teams a little bit better in the whole schedule, because they are honestly a little confusing looking at them. They're in Excel format, and I'm not a huge fan, but they're schedules, so I'm not going to complain about that. But we did go ahead and mark them, so if you haven't seen your schedule, go on the Delegation Coaches page, find your schedule, and take a look at it. You will notice that the games are set for you team sports, that it's designated you. Steve says hooray. I know, right? We're all saying hooray right now. Teams are set as home or away. So be paying attention to that. And then we have, for all team sports, we've got new home and away uniforms. And I'll touch on that in just a little bit here. If you notice a discrepancy, let me know ASAP. And discrepancy meaning that you're playing twice at the same time. That's obviously not going to work. I do know possibly there's going to be a back-to-back or more games than you would like. Unfortunately, we're going to have to roll with that. It's a big competition, and that somebody has to play back-to-back every now and then. So we'll have to do our part when those games come around. In regards to equipment update, so we have been receiving all the equipment. We've been going through the orders that have been coming in and checking off what's missing, what still has yet to come in. Those of you who have requested, we have shipped out all of your equipment to you. We did ship stuff off on Friday, and unfortunately going to the weekend, it wasn't able to do a next day unless I wanted to sell a kidney or something like that, but I didn't really feel up to it at the time. So you will be receiving your stuff on Monday. Just off the top of my head, there should be some basketball gear to a team. There's soccer cleats going out. And then softball, you have a few more items coming your way as well. So equipment is here. We've sent it out. Again, if you were hoping to get your equipment ahead of time, unless you specified to us that you would like to receive it on your ordering form, that equipment is sitting in our office right now. We're going through it, making sure we have everything, so it should be good to go. Let's see. And as far as if you are missing anything or need to get different sizes, I know some of you have been emailing me, which is great. We've been corresponding with BSN Sports, and they're sending out the updated sizes or different things that you may need. So definitely let us know as soon as possible when you get that stuff and look through it, and we'll do what we can on getting everything out to you. Let's see here. Yeah, like I said, I know the schedules. There's going to be some early games and some late games. That is the USA Games. As far as the coaches' meetings go, you will just, that's up to each of the delegates, the sport-specific delegates, and they're just going to have to work with the teams. As far as the 7:30 basketball meeting, I'm assuming it's going to be at the same location. I can neither confirm or deny, so Steve, you and I can follow up with that. And so as far as final delegation reports, Nicole, are you on the call? You are. I see your name. You can't hide from me.
Yes, I am on the call.
Woo! We had a question come in concerning final delegation reports. This one is specifically for swimming. Do we have those? Do we have an ETA on getting those?
I can sure make one for Amy.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great if you could.
Sure thing.
All right, thank you. There we go, Jeff. We got it coming your way. Okay. As far as uniform schedules and tech manual, I'm going to actually combine these two because they kind of go with each other. Meaning the uniform schedule and breakdown of what everybody needs to be wearing is in the technical manual. So as you could probably gather, we're still finalizing that. Expect that to be in your binder when you check in. A lot of information is going into it, so I cannot give you a guaranteed date on that, especially too since we're still waiting on stuff from USA Games, one big one obviously being parking, dinner schedule, meetings for the head of delegation, so that I can establish our meetings for our delegation. So there's just too many things up in the air right now to solidify a time on getting that, so just expect it in your binder when you check in. That being said, I am going to push out the uniform schedule a little bit early. I'll extract that from the technical manual. So we have set it, we're building it by day and what is expected for everybody to be wearing, just what everybody has. And then for the teams, you have a home and an away uniform, and it lists out this color is your home, this color is your away. If you wear a hat during competition, lets you know what color hat to wear. If you wear socks, so soccer, softball, volleyball, if you guys decide to, what color socks to wear with your home and away uniform. What to wear if you're going to go out and just do some sightseeing away from the games. What to wear if you are at the games and not competing, but going to Olympic Town, Healthy Athletes. So it's all broken down, so be on the lookout for that. I should be able to have that finalized by tomorrow, and then I'll post it on the coaches delegation page for you. But just so everybody knows, we did get everything all packed as expected. Our office is overrun by bags. It's pretty cool walking in the office and just seeing the amount of red bags laying out everywhere. I think a total so far of 251. So we just have walls of these bags. Everybody has their name badge on there. They got their sizing and their uniforms packed in the bag, so it's pretty cool. I'm really excited to see it all come together. Let's see. Departure. I know that's a big thing that everyone's been wondering about. So we have landed on departing on the 7th from McMahon Hall, which is the dorm that we are staying in. And departure times will be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So if you have parents who will be coming to pick up their athletes, let them know that that's where they can get them. And between that time frame is when they can get them. That being said, if there are athletes who were planning on leaving from the closing ceremonies on the 6th, that is a possibility. But again, we need all those proper forms filled out ahead of time. But all others who will be staying, it's going to be July 7th, McMahon Hall, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Those of you who got rental vehicles, what we will be doing is loading you up in our delegation van, one that we're driving around, and we will take you to your rental place to get your car. You'll then drive it back to McMahon Hall, load up your team, and then you can head out from there. So part of the checkout process is that everybody will check out of their rooms, that everyone will bring down their bags and all their luggage down to a holding area that we will have designated. We'll make sure that everything gets sorted out correctly, just as it will go when we load up on the 30th. And then that way when everybody leaves, we can make sure to send them off with all of their stuff. Looks like we have... got a few more questions that came in. Perfect. Some great questions. Thank you, guys. So, question that came in was, oh, that's a long one. Okay. As far as bringing your stuff on the 30th, thank you, Steve, for bringing this up. Encourage your team to bring their stuff in a disposable bag. So I know some teams are actually telling them to put them in like black garbage bags because they will not require a whole lot. I think you saw the packing list that we sent out. Hopefully you did. That's just going to make everything a lot easier. If they have a family member who's bringing them, that could work as well, because then that family member could take their bag back with them if it's not a disposable one. But definitely if they're just dropping them off and there's no plan as far as a family member taking it back with them, encourage them to bring it in a bag that they could just go ahead and toss, or possibly even just like another laundry bag, even though they're already getting one. Never hurts to have more than one. As far as the sizing process, again, we will have people there to be able to make alterations, minor alterations, or I'm sorry, the bigger ones. So if you try on your pants and you're swimming in them, be able to help make those if we don't have the right size, or do whatever we can just to make sure everything fits well for everybody. If something happens to where they tried on, we can't make the alterations, what have you, we'll be doing some runs. Us assistant staff will be making some runs to Walmart, Target, where we need to go to get the stuff that we need for everybody. But Jeff, just to answer your question, Amy did feel pretty comfortable with what we had, so we went ahead and ordered it for everyone. Patty, as far as going back to Kaiser, that is not the plan. The plan is to have everybody picked up at McMahon Hall. And we were also, as I discussed earlier, vehicles that possibly were left at Kaiser, we're looking at possibly bringing them over to UW so we don't have to make a trip back. Yep, and then Pam, yours are a few vehicles that we are looking at bringing to UW. Patty, in regards, I know you arranged with a couple buses, so you and I can follow up offline in regards to whether we take you back there or if you're okay just coming to UW to pick you up. All right, well, we got a few more questions that came in. While I read those, I'm going to go ahead and let Sir Tyler take over on talking about some scheduling and personnel tracking during the games and whatever else his heart desires.
Hey folks, Tyler here. Really excited about the USA Games next week. And one of my roles during the USA Games will be managing schedules. The premise of that, the reason that we're doing that is first and foremost for emergency management, making sure that we know where everyone is at any given time as best as we can. And so I'll be in communication with coaches through text and phone calls throughout the week, as well as in our morning coaches meetings, to ask them questions like, are you going to Olympic Town today? Are you going to Healthy Athletes today? Are you going to on a trip outside of campus today? And then the additional piece to that outside of emergency management is media, or making connections with other teams or some of our partners. We have a lot of board members, media, supporters, sponsors who are all looking to see our athletes compete. And again, just like training camp, it'll be non-invasive, especially at USA Games where there's pretty strict media credentials and rules around media. But they will be coming out to come see some of our athletes play, and some of those companies will be rallying around some of our teams throughout the games. I know Safeway is one of them. Kaiser Permanente has asked for a schedule. of some of their athletes and that kind of stuff. So it's really exciting. Bring some fans in the stands to our athletes here locally. And so it should be pretty awesome. One way that I'm tracking everyone's schedule is a master Google Calendar, all data sourced to one master calendar that I will have access to. So this week, if you start getting calendar notifications for your games that are scheduled or for when your athletes are supposed to be running next week, feel free to go ahead and accept those. I'm going to be using it as a tool for me so that I'm constantly getting reminders. Hey, we have Frankie Hogan from track and field. He's going to go run his 50-meter dash at 9:45 a.m., et cetera, et cetera. So it's all super exciting, a lot of data management, and it should help both myself and you all navigate some of the hecticness. One note around Healthy Athletes is that this week I will be sending you a Healthy Athlete schedule. They have suggested times for sports to go through Healthy Athlete screening so that they'll have enough time and so that they are not backed up between either their own events or any other event going on during USA Games. And so I'll be sending that out this week, and it'll say, okay, we want bocce, and this is just an example, so don't take this seriously. We want bocce to go through on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Because that's the most optimum time for all of our bocce athletes to go through. And so just look at that. We would really, really, really love if people could stick to that schedule, but we also understand that we are going to captivate all of our downtime and just continue going throughout the games. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are really excited. And that's all I really have to say.
Awesome. And Sam, you're on the call, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I already posted that schedule breakdown on the delegation page.
Yes, that is
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. I actually did something right for once. Okay. Good.
Well, that will be included in everyone's calendar as well. So you'll get a calendar notification for your suggested Healthy Athletes.
We're just covering all of our bases. Perfect. So actually, that's a fantastic segue into Samantha to talk health and fitness during the games. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tyler. So like he said, you'll be getting the Healthy Athletes will be part of your schedule. You'll get reminders for when you should go to that, when it's suggested to go to that. So those times that are suggested for you, the USA Games team put those together based on the sports schedules for each different sport, so that you know if you go during that suggested time, it's not going to conflict with any of your competitions, and it's going to give you enough time to go through the screenings and for it to actually be a meaningful experience. So you won't be rushed, you won't be missing any competitions or anything like that. So we'll strongly encourage you to go through during those suggested times, just because it will be convenient for you. But the Healthy Athlete screenings are running all week long. So on the website, you have the schedule for those suggested times. And then there's also a schedule on the website that has all of the times that Healthy Athletes will be running. So if if it conflicts with some other plans you have for the day, or if there's one athlete on your team that can't go at that time, there's still other opportunities throughout the entire week that you can still make it to the trainings, which we really, really want everyone to do, not only because it's so important for the athlete's health and to make sure that they're getting the most out of their experience at USA Games, and then back home locally, they will be giving out eyeglasses for athletes that need them, swim goggles for athletes that need them, prescription sunglasses. You can get mouth guards. There's hearing aid repairs. They'll get a fluoride varnish on their teeth. There's so many benefits to going through those screenings. And then any athlete that goes through a certain number of the screenings will receive a free pair of Brooks tennis shoes. And when they go through the Fit Feet screening at USA Games, they get fitted for tennis shoes. So they'll know that the size that they're getting in that tennis shoe is exactly what they need for each individual athlete. So it's a really great opportunity for them to get a nice pair of well-fitted tennis shoes. I don't want to make any promises. I want to say it's 3 disciplines, but you'll be getting that information from USA Games. So they realize you can't make it through all 7 of the screenings, but you can pick and choose based on which athlete, what an athlete needs. You know, if they know that they need a new prescription, make sure that one of those screenings that they get through is opening eyes. So you have a lot of flexibility. You can just go to the ones that athletes need, and then if you complete enough of them, you'll get those free pairs of shoes. And then in addition to Healthy Athletes at the Games, we have performance stations, and we've recently started doing those here in Washington, so you might be a little familiar with them. But the idea behind the performance station is for athletes to connect how their health and their fitness outside of competition can help them perform better on the competition field. So it's a great opportunity for them to start to think about or continue thinking about how they should they should be drinking water to prepare for competition, what they should be eating, how to warm up and cool down properly. And then there will be a lot of fun giveaways there too to encourage people to go through and make it a little bit more exciting. But that's a really great thing to do before your competitions. Use that, you know, before you compete as a tool to get ready and get your athletes in the right mindset and make sure that they are fully prepared to compete at their best. And so that is also on the site, and it's at 6 or 7 different venues throughout the USA Games locations, and going on all day long, pretty much every single day. So you can find those times online as well. So there's some really great opportunities for athletes to start to improve their health and to think about health and fitness. So definitely take advantage of those throughout the week. And then all I have other than that is just a reminder to submit your Fit5 data online. That's really, really important for us as a program to understand how these programs, if they're working, you know, what athletes are struggling with, where their strengths are in terms of their health habits. So don't forget to finish submitting that online. You should all have the link. If you don't, it's in the document that is also on the website that goes through step-by-step how to submit that data. And it is very, very, very simple. It shouldn't take you long at all. So please make sure you get that submitted as well. But that's all I've got.
Perfect. We had a question come in wondering if coaches are also able to go through Healthy Athletes.
Coaches can go through. I don't believe coaches will get the shoes. I think the shoes are only for athletes.
Okay.
The coaches and family members, unified partners, everybody can go through Healthy Athletes.
Perfect. Any other questions for Sam on health and fitness? All right. Well, definitely keep chiming in. We've got some great questions coming in via the chat box, so this is great. A couple things I want to go ahead and touch on. As Sam was talking, I was reading through the questions. One question came actually via email. It says, can families go through Olympic Town with their athletes? Olympic Town is for athletes only, so only for the delegations. Unless otherwise informed, it will only be for the delegations. Then we had another question come in. As far as the trading pins, we do have, I think we have 7,000 trading pins that the team can use to trade back and forth. I know that's a really fun experience during the games. So we have got some really cool buttons. It's our team wall logo, and it's put into a button. So we have a ton of them. We are going to give them to you coaches on the 30th, and we will give you enough for each athlete to start out with about 2 per athlete. That being said, both Tyler and I will have extras. So if an athlete ends up trading them all and needs more, definitely let us know and we'll get them hooked up with more. But we would like that to go through you coaches. That way we don't end up losing the pins and we at least can kind of monitor how many we're just kind of sending out there. All right. So that is all we have right now on the docket. But what we'd like to do is open it up for more questions. Feel free, you can unmute yourself, ask the questions, or chime in on the chat box. And we'd like to be able to answer any questions if you have them. So fire away.
So are we really only giving the athletes 2 pins to start with?
Yes, yeah, to get started, until everybody starts getting in the rhythm, my guess is that they're going to go through them pretty quick. But
well, yeah, 2 pins will take about 2 seconds, because you're probably going to trade pins with at least every team that you play, and any place you go, you'll be trading pins. I know at the World Games, each athlete got about 25 pins, and they were gone during opening ceremonies, trading with all the different countries.
Okay, well,
if you have 7, if you have 7,000, I think 2 would be. I think 2 is a little skimpy. If you have 7,000 of them, I mean,
you know what?
I would think 15 to 25 would be a good start.
All right, good to know. You know what? I have not been there before, so you come with the experience, and good to know. So I'm more than happy to start them off with more. We just figured we'd start them off with a few. So we'll start them off with more. Again, we're going to give them to you coaches, so definitely let us know how many you will be requiring. And then, but still, we will have extras with us. So I think I'll be carrying extras in my backpack. I'm sure Tyler will carry more in his backpack. So if you guys need any, just grab us, and we'll be your vending machine for the buttons.
Athletes also get pins at Healthy Athletes.
Oh, sweet. Cool. And then, yes, thank you, Patty. As far as first aid kits, so obviously there's going to be first aid at all competitions all throughout the games. But the same little small first aid kits that we gave you during training camp, you will be getting those back. So each head coach will have a first aid kit that they can carry on in the backpack. As you probably recall, it's a pretty small one, nothing elaborate, but in walking around the games, that should be all that you need, because obviously there are the actual specific health providers there, the medical staff. So this would just have your Band-Aids, I think an ice pack or some bandages, gauze, all that fun stuff. So you'll be getting those back to have at the games.
Hey, Stephen, I have a quick question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Kat. This is Kat from Clark County. I know I submitted the transportation form, and the amount that quoted is pretty absurd, like over $400. If you guys are going to change something, you'll just let me know, or have you worked on that at all? Okay.
Yep, and Kat, if I remember right, you already sent me your confirmation number, so Jazz is the one that is.
Yes, I did.
He's heading that up. So once we get that all solidified for you, we'll make sure that we let you know, okay, here's what's going to happen, here's how it's all working. That way you're in the know and just feel comfortable with your transportation. So, yep, we'll let you know.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And just so you all know, too, I'm hoping this does not affect us, but if it does, I guess mid of last week, our enterprise corporate number, account number, was changed. I guess it got updated. It changed the number. So just to put it all on your radar, so if you run into that, that's the reason why. I'm going to send it out to everybody so you have it. But I just want to put that on the radar so it doesn't surprise you. It's changed. So if for some reason it's no longer pulling up, that's why. Just give them the new account number and we'll be good. Looks like we have a few others agreeing with the pin. So yeah, we'll set you up with more than just 2 per athlete. Not a problem. So as far as being at KP on the 30th, another question came in for this. Look at the schedule as far as when your team is scheduled, whether it's going through Fit 5 first or checking in. So if you look at that schedule, you'll see when you need to be there, and then just make sure you're there a little bit before that time, ready to rock and roll. Again, on what we are going to do, though, just so all you coaches know, is we are having our coaches meeting at 8:45. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, but 8:45. That way we can connect with you coaches ahead of time, give you the lay of the land so you know what's going to be happening before arriving. So if you can get there by that time, just you coaches, that would be great. That being said, I know some of you are traveling with your teams, so I get it if you're not able to make it. But if you do want to get there, your teams are more than welcome to come and then just hang out. We are going to have just kind of a fun atmosphere going. If all of you remember it, it's the same location as Camp Picnic, so it'll be good. But look at that schedule as far as when your team needs to arrive to check in. Any other questions out there?
No.
So I probably didn't hear you when you were talking. Where can I get those new USA forms? I'm so looking forward to filling out another form.
I know, right?
I mean, I want to raise. Seriously, we're like formed out.
I know, right? It is on the coach's delegation page. Is the updated one under forms? Yeah. But the purpose for that getting out to you ahead of time is so that the family members or the homes can fill them out for you, and you don't have to fill out every single one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Looks like, let's see here. Sam, are you still on the call?
Yes, I am.
Are you able to read through the question that Pam submitted?
I can, yes.
Okay. Any other questions while Sam is looking into that?
So the AAGMD conference is going on. I do not know if athletes will be busy, but Pam, I can follow up with you offline. I'll look into it.
Perfect. Thank you, Sam. And yeah, just as a reminder, Ken, thanks for this. Yes, coaches, you will be getting duffel bags as well as backpacks as well. Every one of you will be, as well as the polos, the T-shirts, Team Washington hat, which is different than the one at training camp. So just so all of you know, do not bring the hats that you got at training camp. They are branded with a sponsor. That is not allowed at the games. So you will be getting a different hat to wear during the games, just so all of you know. And then as a reminder, everybody come to the games wearing your red Team Washington t-shirt. And that way we're ready to rock and roll. And then that's what that will be the dress attire for the 30th, was just comfortable clothes because everyone's traveling. No pajamas. That's not allowed. I felt like I had to specify that on the document as well. But wear your red Team Washington shirt to training camp. Okay, well, any other... Sorry, Steve. You can't wear your jammies, man. I'm sorry. Any other questions, definitely reach out to us and let us know. I know we are in crunch time, so we will do our very darndest to get back to you as soon as possible. Email, call, what have you. We're in the home stretch. We appreciate the heck out of all of you. We're really excited to be spending this entire week with you. And it's going to be a good time. We are all excited. I know there's a lot of chaos leading up to it, but one thing I know is once you get there and you start experiencing it, you realize all of the work that went into it, that it's all worth it. So thank you again from all of us. And we look forward to seeing all of you on June 30th at Kaiser Permanente, which is 1300 Southwest 27th Street in Renton. Make sure you get that Southwest in there. Otherwise, it will send you across the street, and we don't want that. And other than that, we will see you at the USA Games. So appreciate everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.